Hello, gang. Just wanted to weigh in here on the book, The God Delusion. So I just wanted to offer some analysis or criticism of the book, The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. Well, um, Dawkins, I get the impression, likes to whine quite a bit about being taken out of context. So let's go right to the horse's mouth, as they say. And this is from page 157 and 158 of his book, The God Delusion. And he summarizes his argument from the book that belief in God is, according to him, a delusion. So I wanted to look at this argument, this summary that he himself provides, and this is a direct word-for-word quote directly from the book. So I'll just simply read it, and then we'll go through it point by point and see what we can make of it. Number one of the greatest challenges to the human intellect has been to explain how the complex, improbable appearance of design in the universe arises. Number two, the natural temptation is to attribute the appearance of design to actual design itself. Number three, the temptation is a false one because the designer hypothesis immediately raises the larger problem of who designed the designer. Number four, the most ingenious and powerful explanation is Darwinian evolution by natural selection. Number five, we don't have an equivalent explanation in physics. Number six, we should not give up the hope of a better explanation arising in physics, something as powerful as Darwinism is for biology. And then the conclusion he reaches from those 6 points, to continue quoting, therefore, God almost certainly does not exist. Okay, so that's the argument that Richard Dawkins is presenting to us. Now, I think the main blunder here in this argument is point number three. So let me go back and read that, and we'll talk about it, and then I'll get into some of the other points that he's making here. So point number three, he says, quote, the temptation to attribute the appearance of design to actual design, to a designer. The temptation is a false one because the designer hypothesis immediately raises the larger problem of who designed the designer. Okay, now this is something that's kind of frustrating because, I mean, this argument, this argument, who made God, has been dealt with, I think, for thousands of years, and it seems Dawkins is unaware of that. But at any rate, there are two ways to think about this rhetorical question, who designed the designer, which you could have. There are two ways to think about it. One is that you have the world. You say, well, who made the world? Okay, well, God made the world. Okay, who made God? Well, there was some super God. And who made the super deity? Well, a super duper God. And you go on forever. Okay, that would be one possible way to think about this, and of course the idea is that there wouldn't be an infinite number of these beings, so you'd have to stop at some point. Why not stop, Dawkins may say, with the universe? Why even suppose there was one God as opposed to an infinite chain of such beings? Well, that really is a false move, I think, because um, the universe is contingent. It's contingent upon what? It's contingent upon God having chosen to design it. Okay. Now that is not something I'm proving. I'm merely asserting it here. But if you would like to have a more of more than just an assertion, go back and listen to the cosmological argument posts that I made earlier. So we can't stop with the universe. We have to go beyond the universe to God in this chain. Uh, but we can't go beyond God because God, by definition, is the supreme being. So, again, I'm making an assertion, offering an argument, but again, go to the cosmological argument posts for an argument for that, to that effect. Okay, so that first approach to the question, who designed the designer, is faulty. The other way, and this is the way that Dawkins focuses on in his book, is to say, well, if we look around us, we see in the material world a lot of different parts, a lot of different pieces. They're working together. There's some kind of a system, a watch, to go back to the Blind Watchmaker, which is something another book that he wrote before. Um, so you have all these different parts. So the idea is if there was a creator of these parts, a designer, uh, the designer would have to be at least as complex, if not more complex, than what he has designed. So that makes the problem, Dawkins says, um, he, the God hypothesis, he would say, is raising more problems, raising more questions than what it's answering. Well, that is a faulty approach as well, because um, God is said by people who believe in God to have been the creator. At least some, I suppose, the theistic strands of religious faith would say that God created matter. Okay, so if God created matter, is God made of matter? No. No, God transcends matter. If I paint a picture, I look down in that picture. I'm not in the picture. I'm not made of the paint. I'm not made of the canvas. I transcend that picture. Even if it's a self-portrait, I transcend it. That's just a picture of me down there. I'm above and beyond the painting. So God is like that with the material world. Well, if God is non-material, then God is not made up of many material parts. So the material parts, if somebody spent 5 seconds thinking, if Richard Dawkins spent 5 seconds thinking about this, he would see how shallow it is. Uh, God cannot be made up of many interacting parts, because God is not made of parts at all. He's a spiritual being. Okay, so and I'll talk some more about this in the next post. Thank you all.